In my past life, when the apocalypse struck, my best friend and roommate voted to send me to the disaster zone to find supplies. At the center of the disaster zone, I awakened a supernatural power that allowed me to control zombies, under my protection. My best friend survived unscathed into the new era. On the day my best friend was dying, she held my hand, her eyes full of resentment and unwillingness. If only I had gone to get the supplies. Why should you get the power system and become the protagonist? In this life, my best friend was reborn, and she stepped forward. I'm the reborn female lead. Everyone follow me and stock up on supplies. Her roommates all praised her for being brave, kind, and responsible, and she basked in the thrill of being the center of attention. Watching her lead everyone to max out the payday loan platform, I clapped and smiled along, while sighing inwardly, what a pity. In this life, the apocalypse won't come. My college best friend told me that she had been reborn. This world is a zombie novel. We are all just background NPCs in this world, and she is the female protagonist who, armed with the script of a reborn ordinary person, cuts a path through the apocalypse. She told us that 3 days later, a sudden solar rain would sweep across City A. Half a month later, the first case of a low-fever mutated zombie would appear at our school. After that, the virus would spread rapidly, causing the entire city to fall. At first, everyone in the dorm thought she had gotten food poisoning from pellet rice, until they realized she had blurted out all of our secrets. Zhou Yuding, the father you have now is your stepfather. When you were little, he used to get handsy with you all the time. Chu Wanyue, although you're the school's pure and innocent goddess, you actually have 8 boyfriends, and you even have a sugar daddy. Behind the scenes, you're extremely promiscuous. Finally, she looked at me. Shinwei, your parents were all made up. You're actually an orphan. 3 days later, looking out at the glaring sun outside and the pedestrians holding umbrellas on the tree-lined avenue, having had their masks ripped off, everyone finally gave up their anger and embarrassment and chose to shake hands and make peace with Qiao Anning. My best friend sat on the lower bunk, looking smug. See, now you believe it, right? The timidest one in the dorm, Zhou Yuding, turned pale. Then what should we do? I don't want to turn into a zombie. Chu Wanyue, without the slightest hesitation, took a cigarette out of the drawer and started smoking, raising an eyebrow. You say you're the female lead, so you must have some way to get us all to the safe day, right? Of course. The first rule of the apocalypse is to stockpile supplies. Qiao Anning took out her phone. Anyway, nobody here really cares about you in this world. This apocalypse is a chance for ordinary people like you to rise up and turn the tables. There was madness in her eyes. First, find a reason to ask your family for money, then max out every lending app. Qiao Anning ordered us. Zhou Yuding was a little hesitant. We're students. It's probably hard to get approved for online loans. Shinwei frowned. My family doesn't even care about me. I even had to scrape together my own tuition. How am I supposed to get money? What's so hard about that? You don't have to pay it back anyway. Just find the lenders willing to give loans to students with high interest rates. And you, why not ask each of your 8 boyfriends for a little? That should add up, right? Didn't you also have a sugar daddy? Ask him for it. Qiao Anning was displeased, then looked at me, her tone tentative. Shinwei, you don't have any objections, do you? I smiled and was very supportive of her decision. No objections, it's just that I lost my ID card, so I need to get a replacement first. Today is the weekend, I'll go get it done first thing tomorrow morning. Don't we still have more than 10 days? If it's expedited, it'll be done in a week. Qiao Anning felt relieved and smiled with satisfaction. Fine, for now, we'll use the 3 of ours. Hurry up and get it done, otherwise, when the zombies come, we won't care about you. I nodded vigorously. Don't worry. Inside, however, she was indifferent to Qiao Anning. I wonder, once you've stockpiled all your supplies and the apocalypse never comes, what will you do then? In the previous life, a sudden solar rain had drizzled down sparsely for 10 days. The first cryogenic zombie appeared at our school. Soon afterward, the entire school was infected. The school became a key high-risk area, and both people and zombies were locked inside. Our dormitory's stockpile of food had been completely depleted, so Qiao Anning joined forces with Zhou Yuding and Chu Wanyue to vote for me to go to the campus supermarket, the hardest-hit area for zombie activity, to fetch supplies. I'm an orphan. I was bullied since I was little, and after finally managing to get into college with a student loan, I had invented the identity of an ordinary county town family and gained Qiao Anning as my one and only friend. I treasured this friendship deeply, so in everyday life, whenever Xiao Anning asked me to do something, I would agree to it. Xiao Anning had also gotten used to having me under her thumb. At this critical moment, without even thinking, she said, "Shenwei, didn't you say I was your best friend? This is exactly when I need you the most. Shenwei, you go." The parasitic vine-like Zhou Yuding said with red-rimmed eyes, pointing at me. "Your P scores are always better than mine. This is the time for you to go." She was spewing the twisted logic that the weak are always right. Echoing Xiao Anning's call, Chu Wanhua clutched the last bag of biscuits tightly. "Anyway, I'm not going. If I really have nothing to eat, I'll go to the boys' dorm across the way. There are so many simps there, someone will definitely give me something to eat." The three of them shoved me out the door. After a sound of the door being double-locked, Xiao Anning's indifferent voice came from behind the iron door. "Shenwei, if you can't bring back the supplies, then don't come back in. Keeping you around is useless." During the day, the zombies stayed near the supermarket by the lake, where it was cooler. At night, the zombies became more active, and wailing would occasionally echo through the corridors. Staying outside meant certain death. I could only take my chances at the supermarket. I swam from the lake to the back door of the supermarket, where I encountered the first hypothermic zombie, the source of all zombie infections. After piercing through his forehead with the pointed end of a metal broom, I obtained the charm system, control over the 20 zombies around me. With this system, I secured supplies and became the one who laughed last in the struggle of the apocalypse. Xiao Anning's crush, Chu Yun, lived in dormitory Building No. 2 across the way, and his roommate, through the window, asked Xiao Anning for help, begging us to save him and Chu Yun. Ignoring the hundreds of zombies gathered below, Xiao Anning forced me to go across and rescue them. I refused, saying that the zombies had already become intelligent and might disguise themselves as acquaintances to trick us into going there to die. Within a few days, Chu Yun's roommate disappeared by the dormitory window, and Building No. 2 was completely overrun. After being upset for a few days, Xiao Anning became very understanding. She reflected on her actions with me, saying that she should not have let her emotions cloud her judgment, and that I was the most important person to her. After that, we escaped from the school and arrived at the base. As my close friends and family, they enjoyed the delicious food and peaceful life in the base, things that had long since disappeared outside, and I, meanwhile, was on the front lines, constantly fighting the zombies and eating nauseating mutated matter that made my body convulse. To enhance my abilities, I weathered the elements, slept outdoors, and exhausted myself mentally and physically. Covered in scars and calluses, they were raised plump and fair, with delicate skin and tender flesh. In the end, Chu Wanhua seduced my deputy and seized power, and after failing, fled to another base to latch onto a male awakened one. When Zhou Yuding, in the midst of this struggle for power, dragged me in as a human shield to block the blade, she was bitten to death by my zombie guardian. Xiao Anning stood by coldly and watched. After I, covered in blood, won the victory, she chose to follow me and continue enjoying a life of comfort. We protected her until she survived into the new world, and in the end gave her half of our wealth and resources. On the day she died, she asked me to meet her at the site of the old school. Holding my hand tightly, she looked at me with eyes full of resentment. "If I'd known, I should have gone to get the supplies." "Why should you get the system and become the protagonist?" "If I had gotten the system, Chu Yun wouldn't have died because you stood by and did nothing." I stood frozen in place. All along the way, it was she who had been selfish and self-serving, she who had watched coldly from the sidelines, and she who had bullied others by abusing her power. A friendship led me to protect her for my entire life, yet she hated me so much. How utterly ridiculous. So be it. Now that I have been given a second life, I'll let her be the protagonist this time. I just fear she won't live to see the apocalypse. "Shenwei, for today's group assignment and morning class, you'll do them for us." After she got some money, Zhou Yuding also started ordering me around arrogantly. Chu Wanwei glanced at me. "Anyway, you don't have any money right now, so there's no way for you to stockpile supplies. It's normal for you to help us do some work. I'll contact an underground warehouse and rent it today. When the zombies come and it's no longer possible to live above ground, we'll move in there. The three of us will split up to buy supplies. Shenwei, you stay at the school and cover for us, in order to keep me from finding out the location of the underground warehouse, and at the same time keep the school teachers from noticing anything unusual about them." Xiao Anning arranged for me to stay in the dormitory, responsible for covering up their activities. I pretended to be deeply grateful and took their homework on my own initiative. Sure, it's fine if I can help everyone out a bit, otherwise, with you all taking such good care of me, I'd feel too embarrassed. If they won't let me stockpile supplies, I'd be more than happy. Seeing that I showed no sign of resistance or dissatisfaction, Qiao Anning finally smiled in relief. Watching Qiao Anning and the others leave, I sat on the chair, calmly opened a bottle of cola, and took out my earphones. Soon after, the three of them started talking. Anning, are we really just going to leave Shenwei in the dorm? Will she go tell the teacher? Taking advantage of the fact that I ran errands for Qiao Anning on campus every day, I spent half a year's scholarship to buy hidden software and install it on her phone. Qiao Anning replied in an impatient tone, "Why are you so cowardly, Zhou Yuding? Anyway, in your past life, she left you in a pile of zombies and watched with her own eyes as they gnawed you down to nothing but your skull. And you, Chu Wanwei. In your past life, you finally found a male psychic ability user willing to protect you. For her own survival, she took the initiative to offer herself and climbed into bed, driving you out of the base. If you still want to sell your body for stale steamed buns like in your past life, then go back." The other two immediately fell silent. "You too, hurry and buy supplies. Once you've bought them, move them to the warehouse. When evening self-study starts, we'll go back to the dorm and, while Shen Wei isn't there, quietly take our clothes and bedding bit by bit. Remember, absolutely don't let her find out where the warehouse is, and don't let her realize we're planning to leave without her. A selfish, self-serving person who betrays her friends for glory deserves to be left at the school as zombie food." Qiao Anning had long since made up her mind that she would never take me underground. Whether the replacement ID card could be issued within a week was still uncertain. If I had no money, I would be nothing but dead weight. Qiao Anning was certain that this rebirth had given her the time reserved for a protagonist. She had planned that on the day the zombies came, she would lock me in the dormitory and then go to the lake herself to retrieve the system. After all, in my previous life, the one who got the system and awakened powers was me. The earlier I die at school, the more at ease she will be. Of course, if she could secure a loan before I died and use it to replenish her supplies, that would be even better. After learning about the miserable fate they had suffered in their previous lives, Zhou Yuding and Chu Wanyue became even more determined to cut ties with me. The three of us parted ways at the school gate, watching the red dot representing Qiao Anning on the phone screen move back into the dormitory area and stop near building No. 2 next door. I smiled. I knew it. Qiao Anning would definitely come back to look for her dear brother, the campus heartthrob, Chu Yun. In my previous life, when she begged for help in Chu Yun's dorm room, she had blushed and argued with me. "Xiao Wei, as long as I save Chu Yun, he'll definitely fall in love with me and end up with me." At the time, I kept patiently persuading her, "We're barely able to protect ourselves, how are we supposed to save him? And what if it's a zombie disguised as Chu Yun?" She roared back at me, "Impossible. How would the zombies know I'd go save him? Only Chu Yun would know that. It must be because he has feelings for me too. Which is why he asked me for help first." "Shen Wei, do you also like him? Are you afraid that if he stays with us, he'll fall in love with me, so you won't help me save him?" "Stop daydreaming. Someone like you, and now turned into a monster that controls zombies. How could you ever be worthy of him?" After I firmly refused to go save Chu Yun, Qiao Anning chose to give me the cold shoulder, but in the end, for the sake of survival, she chose to make peace with me. Now that she has been reborn, how could she possibly give up the chance to spend her life with Chu Yun? In the past, she hated me for a lifetime because of Chu Yun. In this life, as her best friend, I will support every choice she makes. My fingers tapping, I dialed Qiao Anning's number. The call connected, and I said, "And Ning, should you tell Chu Yun about the end of the world? That way, you'd be doing him a favor, and he'll definitely fall in love with you." Still hesitating downstairs, Qiao Anning looked delighted. "You think so too? You think he'll be touched?" I kept encouraging her. "Of course, you're beautiful, generous, and so kind. At last week's sports meet, the way Chu Yun looked at you was different. He must have a crush on you." Qiao Anning hesitated. But would Zhou Yuding and Chu Wanwei agree to let me bring Chu Yun to the underground warehouse? I pretended not to know I would be left behind and helped her come up with an idea. "It's okay. First make an appointment with Chu Yun, and then bring him over. Before the end of the world comes, Chu Yun is tall and strong, so even if the two of them try to stop us, they definitely won't be able to stop the three of us. The warehouse key is also in your hands. if they absolutely won't agree, then worst comes to worst. We just won't take them. My words hit her right in the heart. Xiaowei, you care about me the most after all. You're my best friend. A series of good sisters emoji stickers came flooding in. I looked out the window. Qiao Anning, standing downstairs across from the dorm building, was smiling brightly. I couldn't help but feel bad for Zhou Yuding and Chu Wanyue. Actually, none of us in the dorm meant much to Qiao Anning. Zhou Yuding had no money or power, and once her wallet was drained, she'd be even more useless in the apocalypse. Chu Wanyue was a scheming big shot and very pretty. In her previous life, she had even won over an ability user. I couldn't outplay her, and I was afraid Chu Yun would be lured away. I was just a bootlicker, and she didn't care. Only Chu Yun was her most important gidge, and she herself could still gain a superpower. She believed that in my previous life, I had been able to support the three of them with my superpower, so she would definitely be able to support just Chu Yun alone with ease. Chu Yun would also become unable to leave her because of her protection, and she had never once thought about how much I had sacrificed to protect them. Now she is rushing toward a beautiful end time where she'll reap both love and status, and I can only send her my blessings. I wish her the consequences of her own actions. She is only herself to blame. No one knows what kind of story Qiao Anning told to make Chu Yun believe her. A few days later, Qiao Anning managed to get another sum of money. She abandoned that tiny underground storage room and moved with Chu Yun into an abandoned underground warehouse. I listened to the conversation through my headphones. Anning, it's lucky I have you, otherwise, once the end times come, I wouldn't even know what to do, Chu Yun said in an especially gentle voice. Qiao Anning was instantly melted, and said shyly, Brother Chu Yun, a world without you is the real apocalypse to me. Don't worry, I will definitely protect you. What about your roommates? Chu Yun asked. Those idiots can't compare to you. Once they spend all their money, they'll be completely useless. By then, when the zombies surround the city, they'll probably just end up as zombie food. Brother Chu Yun, don't worry, I've already secretly changed the delivery address for all the supplies to our place. They won't know. By then, this place will be a paradise belonging to just the two of us. A hint of cunning crept into Chu Yun's tone. Is that so? That's wonderful. Qiao Anning took the opportunity to act coy. Then, can you like me now? What silly things are you saying? Chu Yun chuckled softly, his tone ambiguous. If I didn't like you, who would believe something like a zombie siege and come down here with you? Brother Chu Yun, you're not lying to me, are you, baby? How else do you want me to prove it? After a while of nauseating clinginess, the headphones filled with the sound of clothes rustling and ambiguous, sultry breathing. In order not to let my ears suffer a work-related injury, I yanked off the headphones, feeling a wave of nausea. About half an hour later, Qiao Anning sent me a message, a photo of her and Chu Yun sleeping together in the same bed. The two of them were in disarray, and Qiao Anning deliberately exposed the little strawberry marks on her neck, her eyes full of smugness and show-off. Shinwei, you were right, Chu Yun really does like me, I really was being unnecessary before, even worrying that you'd compete with me for him. How could he possibly fancy a bargain basement nobody like you, with no father and no mother and an ugly face? Looking at the eye-searing photos, my heart was filled with mixed emotions. Qiao Anning is really an idiot. How could someone like Chu Yun, who dates 8 people in a month, possibly have gone to the factory building just because of 1 or 2 things she said? I told her from the start that Chu Yun was no good. The zombie outbreak started in Building 2. Among dozens of dormitory buildings, only Building 2 was completely wiped out. She never once thought about why. How did I ever get so stuck in my last life that I had to save someone so selfish and cruel, so stupid and rotten, with nothing but a love-brained head anyway, that no longer has anything to do with me? I replied to Qiao Anning's message. That's great, Anning, you can be with Chu Yun as your friend. I'm truly happy for you. Then he looked at the time on his phone. 19:30. It was time to go to evening self-study. In a few more days, this sun shower would stop, the world would return to normal again. Let Qiao Anning be smug for a few days first. I still have to graduate with a scholarship and as one of the top 10 students. After evening self-study, I returned to the dormitory. All 3 of them were back. Qiao Anning's face was flushed red, her expression excited. Even the shirt she had worn out this morning had become wrinkled and crumpled. At the other 2 people's spots, the snacks and drinks on the table were gone, and the blankets on the bed were becoming fewer and fewer. I figured that over the past few days, while I was studying on my own, they had moved most of their things out. Shinwei, starting Tomorrow we won't be coming back at night. Running back and forth every day is too much of a hassle. Yeah, the warehouse in Ning rented is way too messy. If we don't clean it up soon, we won't have anywhere to put the things we bought when they arrive. Zhou Yuding and Chu Wanyue spoke up first. Running around outside every day, they were practically exhausted over the past few days. The sun showers have never stopped, and the flu has started to spread. The news has been urging everyone to wear masks when going out whenever possible. Use serving chopsticks when dining together, and avoid crowded places. Rumors of apocalyptic theories began to spread online, but most people didn't take them seriously. With global warming and all sorts of messed up weather, what hadn't they seen before? They treated talk of the apocalypse as nothing more than entertainment. Zhou Yuding and Chu Wanyue, however, became increasingly busy. They had completely come to believe Qiao Anning's words. Every day, as soon as they opened their eyes, they were stocking up on supplies, skipping classes so much they no longer knew what the world was like. When the counselor tried to set up a talk with them, they brushed it off, and the counselor got so angry that they threatened to call their parents. Calling parents in college, truly a first for me. The two of them, Zhou Chu and the other, said they didn't care anyway. The apocalypse is coming, what the hell do parents even matter? So I'm the only one left in the dorm. I pretended to have a headache. What if we get room checks then? Qiao Anning frowned. Figure it out, it's been so many days already, and your ID still hasn't been reissued. You don't have any money either. You can't just not contribute money and not put in any effort, can you? If we really can't hide it anymore, then forget it. Anyway, in 3 days the apocalypse will be here. What the hell is the school's warning worth? By then they'll all be begging us for help and have to watch our faces. After getting Chu Yun, the craziness in Qiao Anning's eyes grew even stronger. Then she added to Zhou and Chu, these next 2 days I'm going to ask my cousin for some money and hurry to stock up on a batch of medicines. You two stay in the warehouse and get things sorted first. Hearing that Qiao Anning was going to get money, Zhou and Chu both felt relieved. Over the past 2 days, each of them had borrowed another 100,000 yuan. Chu Wanyue also used her pregnancy as an excuse to ask each boyfriend for 5,000 yuan and her sugar daddy for 50,000 yuan, saying she needed to go to the hospital. Zhou Ning didn't come to the warehouse all day today, and they were already getting a little panicked. They had left her name and phone number on all the supplies they bought online. If Zhou Ning ran off, they didn't even dare imagine how they would get by in the days ahead. They still didn't know that Zhou Ning had already moved everything to her own cozy little nest. I had no choice but to compromise. All right, I'll figure something out when the time comes. Oh, by the way, I'll bring over your instant noodles, bread, and so on tomorrow. For the next couple of days, you'll have to eat at the cafeteria. Chu Wanyue came over and took away all the food and drinks in my cabinet, as well as my cotton coat and other cold weather supplies. She only left me a quilt to use for the night. I don't have many belongings to begin with. 1 suitcase is enough. Zhou Yuding looked at me with utter disdain. What a total loser. Doesn't even have anything. She had completely forgotten that she also paid her tuition with student loans, yet she had really come to treat the loan money as her own. I just wonder whether she'll still be able to act so tough when the repayment is due next month. Chu Wanting looked at this box of horrible-looking supplies and suddenly thought of something. By the way, Anning, hasn't the stuff we bought arrived yet? Qiao Anning's eyes flickered for a moment. She glanced at me guiltily and started making something up. Hasn't the rain gotten heavier lately? The things we bought were shipped by logistics, so a delay on the way is normal. I called this afternoon to check, and they said it should arrive in the next 2 days. She didn't dare tell them that the stuff had already arrived today, and it was all piled up in the sweet little underground storeroom she shared with Chu Yun. The two of them believed her. They never imagined that Qiao Anning was treating them like Japanese people. The next day, Qiao, Zhou, and Chu left the dormitory early, leaving behind only the empty wooden bunk beds and the table covered in trash. The sun shower stopped, and then strong winds began to blow. Amid the howling wind blades mixed with dust, the city grew utterly dim. It looks like the end of the world. Online public opinion became increasingly bizarre, with everyone discussing whether the end of the world had come. There were also more and more armed police patrol cars, and every intersection outside the school had armed police standing guard. Several large trees at the school had been blown down, blocking the road to class. Someone took photos and posted them on Moments. The angle was so tricky it looked like a primitive jungle after a disaster. In the class group, A notice suspending classes made Xiao, Zhou, and Chu excited in the dorm group. They mocked the classmates in their circle of friends who were running against the wind on the playground, while boasting about their own wise decision. Zhou Yuding, if I had known, I would have borrowed from every relative around me. Now my mom is questioning me in the family group about skipping class, and I just curse back at her. If it weren't for me scheming to seduce my stepfather and helping her take photos to blackmail this second marriage husband, how could she be living such an easy life today? This old man too. I told him to divorce my mom and I'd marry him after graduation, but he actually refused because he couldn't bear to split the money. Once I get out, the first two people I'm going after are them. The puffed-up Zhou Yuding started a self-exposing mode, and the beef meatball in my mouth from the self-heating hot pot almost fell out. What's yours compared to mine? My old sugar daddy is the real cheapskate. To save on fees, he insisted on using his 80-year-old mother-in-law's phone to transfer money to me. Now his wife found out, and they're fighting at home, but it doesn't matter, he can't beat me anyway, hee. The two of them were flooding the group chat. Then at me Shenwei, the wind is too strong right now, just stay at school, and once the rain dies down a bit, we'll come pick you up. Yeah, Shenwei. I saw that the campus supermarket is closed too. Hang in there these next couple of days. I looked at the self-heating hot pot in my hand. They probably didn't know that before the supermarket closed, the campus management had distributed 3 days' worth of rations to each dorm based on 4 people per room, and I was living in the now luxurious single room, enjoying the supplies for the entire dorm. I replied in the group chat, it's fine. I grabbed a few steamed buns from the cafeteria before it closed this morning, so I can still hold out. I casually snapped a photo of the steamed bun that was tossed to me today by the neighboring dorm because they didn't want it, squeezed inside the park supply crate. The steamed bun had become wrinkled and crumpled, looking extremely shabby. After seeing the photo, Zhou Yuding sent a voice message, laughing very brightly, Shenwei, you're way too miserable, how pitiful. While we're eating fried chicken, a photo was posted in the group chat. In the dim basement, 2 people lay on a makeshift sofa, eating fried chicken, but in the photo, I saw that behind them, at the gap in the dim doorway, a pair of shoes was peeking out. I smiled to myself, idiot. Xiao Anning only paid a deposit for this warehouse at the beginning. Now that she and Chu Yun are fooling around in the underground storage room every day, how could they possibly care about them? Since the warehouse owner never received the remaining rent, he had no choice but to send someone to change the lock. The basement was already dark, and with the wind howling, the person who came to lock the door didn't notice that there was anyone inside at all. The 2 of them were locked up like that. I calculated the rations they had brought with them, and at this rate of consumption, they wouldn't last 3 days. I asked in the group, is it safe for Anning to go to her cousin's place? Can she even make it back in such strong wind? When I mentioned Xiao Anning, Zhou Chu and the other person finally remembered the supplies and tagged Xiao Anning in the group with dissatisfaction. Zhou Yuding, Anning, when will the supplies arrive? The day after tomorrow is Zombie Day. Chu Wanwei, yeah, didn't you say the delivery was already on the way? Why hasn't it arrived yet? You didn't pocket it for yourself, did you? Although the wind was strong today, it was still possible to go out if they really needed to. Xiao Anning was worried that I would betray her and follow the clues back to her. The only thing that could be done was to come out and calm everyone down. The supplies have already reached the station. The wind is too strong right now, so deliveries are moving slowly. Please wait a little longer, it'll be here soon. If I'd known you'd doubt me this much, I shouldn't have told you about the apocalypse in the first place anyway. I've got a god's eye view. In the apocalypse, teaming up with anyone makes you a hot commodity. The 2 of them, Zhou Chu and the other, probably realized that they would still have to rely on Xiao Anning for spoilers about what would happen after the apocalypse, and they instantly softened. Anning, we're just anxious too. Be careful when you go to your cousin's place, and come back early. Okay. After replying perfunctorily, I exited the chat interface. It was pitch black outside the window. The phone showed 13:00 in the afternoon. I pulled out my CET6 English dictionary. Fortunately, there was the little lamp that Xiao Anning and the others had discarded. Otherwise, the CET6 exam a month later would have been delayed. Another night passed. Last night the wind howled, and the campus confession wall was filled with curses. Damn, that wild wind blew all night, and my head is still buzzing. My dumb roommate insisted on opening the window to air out the room, and goddamn it, all the underwear I had drying this morning was gone. My phone was blown up by Zhou Yuding, because I skipped class. The counselor rejected the financial aid scholarship application she submitted half a month ago. She had a huge argument with the counselor in the class group chat yesterday. She sent a voice message mocking him. As a counselor, you really think you're such a big deal? You dare to threaten me over a few thousand yuan in scholarship money? A loser like you isn't even fit to be zombie food. The apocalypse is coming soon. Don't come begging me to save you lot of cannon fodder then. Then she left the group, deleted the contact, and blocked him. I glanced at the dorm group chat. Last night at 11 p.m. Zhou Yuding and Chu Wanyue completely lost it and started cursing. Qiao Anning, answer the phone. Where the hell did you run off to with the supplies? Damn it, you even blocked me. You bitch, don't let me find you, or you're dead. Finally, I opened Zhou Yuding's voice message. Xinwei, did the school distribute supplies? Hurry up and bring our share over. Damn it, who locked the door? Xinwei, have you no shame? Never seen food before? You're hogging supplies meant for 4 people all by yourself. You damn poor bastard. Hurry up and bring the stuff over. The voice changed from furious threats at the beginning to pleading toward the end. Xinwei, please, come save us. We're out of food already, please. My phone is about to die too. I'm telling you, we're in the north of the city. Then, no more news came through. In the morning news, several utility poles were blown down over in the north of the city. Now the power is out. The power banks they'd stockpiled are all with Qiao Anning. At 10 a.m., after replying in the group chat with "serves that idiot right," Qiao Anning left the chat. A half an hour later, I pretended to be anxious and sent a string of messages in the group chat. What happened? I just woke up. When are you coming to pick me up? The wind is so strong. The sky is so dark. I'm so scared. Whoa, you wouldn't all abandon me, would you? After finishing a series of operations, I calmly pulled out my vocabulary notebook. I got so absorbed and worked so hard at memorizing that I forgot myself and became oblivious to everything else. In the afternoon, the dorm manager came to check the rooms. I kept in mind the principle Qiao Anning taught me: if you can't hide it, forget it, and told the dorm manager. They went out to hide from the zombie apocalypse. The dorm manager and counselor looked at me like I was an idiot. For fuck's sake, it was just a typhoon. How did it turn into a zombie siege? The counselor got anxious. Xinwei, stop making up nonsense. On a typhoon day, where did they actually go? I answered sincerely. They really went to hide from the zombies. After nearly half an hour of questioning, they finally believed what I said. The counselor had a splitting headache and, in a very unprofessional display, cursed. Damn, are they idiots? Then he asked me, where did they hide? Tell me the address. I shook my head. I don't know, they didn't tell me. They said they'd come get me when the time came. The dean of the branch who rushed over also blew up. Damn it, they're trying to send me straight onto the news. My title, from any perspective, I had never been given any specific hiding address, whether it was Zhou Chu's underground warehouse or Qiao Anning's factory building. From an outsider's perspective, I looked more like a complete sucker, having handed over all the supplies only to be left behind in the dormitory. The counselor checked my phone records and found not a single flaw. Calls and messages to the 3 of them went unanswered. That hidden monitoring software would be impossible to detect without solid technical expertise and a thorough inspection. They returned empty-handed, and before leaving they told me to notify them if there was any news. I nodded, indicating that I would definitely inform them at the first opportunity. I just didn't know whether this news would be good or bad. The dormitory had returned to quiet again. I opened the monitoring software. The whining and moaning that had started since morning had finally stopped. I felt a little down. They had been so uninhibited, and I had no idea whether Qiao Anning had stocked up on more little umbrellas. If not, then Qiao Anning was discussing the conversation in the group with Chu Yun, Zhou Yuding, that little slut who seduces her stepfather. She really fooled me. With her timid appearance, she even shouted that she would make me dead meat. Qiao Anning felt relieved inwardly. Fortunately, she wasn't with them. Otherwise, with Zhou Yuding and Chu Wanwei both trying to steal her man, brother Chu Yun. There's already a level 11 gale outside, and we're still so safe here. The place you found is really great. They're about to have nothing to eat, and we can still enjoy a big feast here. Qiao Anning leaned against Chu Yun's chest, her finger tracing circles on Chu Yun's chest. Chu Yun's condition didn't sound too good. His voice was weak and airy, but he still tried hard to suppress the bubble-like rasp. Really, thanks to you, baby, for telling me ahead of time and preparing so many supplies. You're the most amazing one. Baby, I felt like throwing up as I listened, and even the free self-heating hot pot in my hands didn't seem appetizing anymore. By the way, baby, where is that enchantment system you mentioned over the past few days? Xiao Anning had already been thoroughly charmed by Chu Yun and had long since told her everything from her previous life. In her version, she was the one who gained the power and saved everyone. Xiao Anning's voice suddenly grew a little hesitant. Brother Chu Yun, why are you asking this? She wasn't so love-struck that she would even give Chu Yun the ability that determined everything. Chu Yun seemed to have been questioned, and his tone took on a touch of grievance. Baby, we're already like this, and you still don't trust me. It's so dangerous outside right now. When you go to get your ability later, I was thinking I could keep watch for you, but you actually suspect me. He sighed. Since you don't trust me, I'd better go back. All the supplies here were stockpiled by you. I'm of no use at all, and I'm embarrassed to keep letting you support me. A classic retreat to advance, instantly making Xiao Anning anxious. Brother Chu Yun, what are you talking about? I stocked all these supplies for you. Can't I just tell you where the ability is? The ability is by the lake behind the back door of the school supermarket. Chu Yun got the answer he wanted and let out a soft chuckle. Huh? Xiao Anning withdrew her hand from Chu Yun's chest as if jolted by electricity. Brother Chu Yun, your body, why has it suddenly become so cold? So, Chu Yun's voice turned deep and icy. In the last life, it was you who killed me and took away my ability, wasn't it? By the time we rescued Xiao Anning, there wasn't a single uninjured piece of flesh left on her body. After that day, Xiao Anning was chained up by Chu Yun like a dog. Every day, they only gave her one steamed bun, and even drinking water depended on Chu Yun's mood. During the day Chu Yun often slept, and at night he would get up and mess around with Xiao Anning. He threw away the little umbrellas that Xiao Anning had stocked up, wanting to get Xiao Anning pregnant. Anning, you like me so much, why not give me a zombie baby? Chu Yun's appearance had already begun to change. His face had turned dark and bluish, and he pinched Xiao Anning's neck, blowing cold air by her ear. If I eat it like this, I'll evolve faster, and become the ruler of this zombie world. Looking at Chu Yun's body, now covered in wrinkles, Xiao Anning couldn't help gagging. Her reaction enraged Chu Yun. He lashed Xiao Anning with a rope while sleeping with her. The process became increasingly brutal. All he wanted was an embryo with mutated anti-clearance and zombie genes. He didn't care whether Xiao Anning lived or died. Xiao Anning sent me a message while he was resting during the day. Where are you? Hurry up and save me. Chu Yun is a zombie. Come save me. I was watching a grammar video and replied to her. How could that be? Anning, didn't you say the zombies were at school? You're outside, so nothing will definitely happen to you. Besides, that's your favorite senior. Chu Yun, you must be too anxious and scared, and are hallucinating. She threatened me. Shinwei, you idiot, if you don't come save me, when the zombies attack the city later, I won't care about you. You know it, I'm the female lead. Without me, none of you would survive. I casually snapped a photo of a newly opened self-heating hot pot. I get tired of self-heating hot pot so quickly. You probably eat better than I do, right? She broke down. Why do you still have food to eat? I didn't reply to her. I just took a photo of the supplies the school had handed out. No idea. The school delivers lots of food every day. Xiao Anning suddenly realized that if the zombie outbreak hadn't happened at the school, it was very likely right around her. She became even more anxious. Come save me quickly and take me back to school. Shinwei, we're best friends. How can you bear to let me be beaten and starve, stuck with a monster like that? I persuaded her. But Anning, it was you who insisted on being with Senior Chu Yun. You can't stop loving him just because he's turned into a monster. You need to use love to influence him, to warm him. I believe you two will definitely be happy. Xiao Anning was almost desperate. Shinwei, let's talk about the rest later. This is my location. Come save me first. After sending that message, I waited a long time, but never received her location. In the headset, Chu Yun's sinister voice rang out. Xiao Anning, didn't you like me? Why are you trying to run away? Xiao Anning's voice trembled, terrified to the extreme. Don't come near me, you monster. Stay away from me. Don't hit me anymore. I'm begging you. I told you to send the message. Believe it or not, once I've mutated, you'll be the first one I turn into a zombie. By then, I could make you lick my feet and you'd do it gladly. The sound of whipping and Xiao Anning's wails rang out in the earphones. I glanced at the time. Tomorrow is the day Chu Yun will completely lose himself. After a moment of silence, I sent the location of the red dot to a newly added friend. Tonight, everything resets to 0. A week later, Zhou Yuding and Chu Wanyue were rescued. One of Zhou Yuding's feet was broken off, and Chu Wanyue had a chunk of flesh missing from her face. After their supplies ran out, the two of them started drinking urine, and in the end even began tearing at each other. Not zombies, but worse than zombies. Before they had even recovered from their injuries in the hospital, the online lenders started coming for them. She frantically called the people around her, pressuring them to collect the debt. For their second loan, the two chose a nude loan, and the nude photos of them holding their ID cards quickly spread across the internet. Zhou Yuding dropped out of school and went back to compete with her birth mother for favor. Chu Wanyue was found at school by her sponsor's wife, who caused a huge scene, making the situation extremely awkward. It's likely that both of their lives were ruined like this. As for Qiao Anning, she was taken into a hidden laboratory. The latest examination showed that she was pregnant. Zombie No. 1. Chu Yun's child. Another 2 months passed. Behind the thickened tempered glass wall, Qiao Anning pounded on the glass, screaming at me at the top of her lungs. Shenwei, you bitch. You remember too, don't you? You knew he was the source of the infection, and you still sent me to my death. I smiled faintly, my tone calm. Qiao Anning, I told you in my last life not to save Chu Yun. You didn't believe me and hated me for a lifetime. Now that's fine, you got what you wished for. In my previous life, I encountered the first infected source by the lakeside. This person was Qiao Anning's object of affection. Chu Yun. Unlike other zombies, Chu Yun was not devoid of reason. He did not do nothing but roar and bite. He retained human intelligence. After all, he was the original zombie king. At that time, his skull had not yet fully hardened, so I thrust the broom through him from behind. As the pointed tip went through his eye, an emerald green crystal fell out. The moment I touched the crystal, I absorbed its power. Zhou Anning had never known that the so-called seductive power was nothing more than the obedience of low-level zombies to high-level zombies. I was infected the day they pushed me out to look for supplies. Only, I don't eat people. I only eat the foul, disgusting energy cores inside zombies' heads. The remaining energy in Chu Yun was absorbed by his roommate, and he became smarter. He had seen me, so he disguised himself as Chu Yun and lured Qiao Anning by the window, and Chu Yun, as the first-generation zombie king, was killed instantly at the start. Being reborn with some memories isn't that strange. Don't get smug, I'm pregnant with Chu Yun's child now. For the sake of evolution, he'll definitely come save me. Outside, the city is now under siege by zombies. You guys must be having a rough time too. Ha ha ha. Qiao Anning laughed maniacally. I sighed and took out my phone, handing it to her. 2 months ago, Typhoon Scorpio of level 12 made landfall, and City A has now fully completed post-disaster recovery and reconstruction. The trending searches were all about post-typhoon reconstruction, and not a single one was related to zombies. Qiao Anning's face twisted with rage, her voice trembling. Impossible, this is impossible. In my last life, the city was clearly besieged by zombies. The lab director standing nearby, wearing a special medical uniform, looked over and said, I really don't know how someone like you managed to live until safety day in your previous life. Only then did Qiao Anning look at this somewhat familiar person, Lin Mo, who had once been the head of the base's medical department. It's you all have memories. She was in disbelief. His voice suddenly grew faint. Could it be, this life wasn't born for me? Of course not, I replied to her. This lifetime is the result of everyone's efforts. After the mutated anti-corruption strain was extracted, the zombies disappeared, leaving only a withered and devastated world. The safe day everyone had hoped for became a post-war ruin where people lost their loved ones, their friends, and their healthy bodies. All supernatural abilities came from the evolution brought about by this epidemic mutation. After being injected with the mutated anti-serum, the pathogenic factors in the superhumans' bodies began to fall out of balance. The superhumans died one after another. A year later, Lin Mo finally developed a technique to extract the pathogenic molecules from the bodies of superhumans. The surviving superhumans voluntarily underwent the surgery. The diseased particles extracted during the surgery unexpectedly formed a Mobius strip, so, with nearly unanimous support, the survivors chose to reboot the world. Those who lived to see the safe day, because they carried virus antibodies, had a 1 in 100,000 chance of retaining their memories, and as the absorber of Patient Zero, I was destined to recover my memories. It was only a matter of time. Qiao Anning gritted his teeth. So you'd already regained your memories a long time ago, and you all conspired to kill me and Chu Yun. I nodded, then shook my head. The only one we intended to kill was Chu Yun. You got yourself killed by your own stupidity. Before his mutation, he was at his weakest. We even have you to thank for that. You brought him out of the campus and eliminated the possibility of the virus spreading. Chu Yun was dissolved in an acid bath on the day we rescued you. After so many days of antibody serum injections, you and the baby in your belly no longer have the virus. To save time and materials, Lin Mo gave Xiao Anning the simplest and most brutal mutant serum injection. The side effects left her covered in black spots and her skin loose and sagging. Lin Mo said that since she liked the zombie apocalypse so much, he would let her continue being a monster. I gave her a smile of blessing. Congratulations, you're going to be a mother. After half a year, once she received the final injection of the mutated antiserum, Xiao Anning would be able to leave this laboratory after all. There were still a lot of loans waiting for her to pay off outside. A year later, holding the outstanding graduate trophy in my hand and with offers from major companies in my pocket, I graduated smoothly. One day, while going to the factory for a field survey, at the factory gate, a woman with a face covered in dark spots and sagging skin was pulling the factory manager out to greet me. Factory manager, please take a look at me too. I'm also a student from a prestigious university, and I can tighten screws. The factory manager pushed her away in disgust. Go try another place. Oh my, just look at your face. I'm afraid you might even have a contagious disease. She suddenly saw me, her eyes widening, and rushed over. Shinwei, I was wrong. We're best friends. Please help me talk to him. You know I still have debts to pay. Give me a job. The factory director looked at me in confusion. Manager Shin, do you know her? I avoided her and pulled the factory director inside. We've met, but we're not close. Xiao Anning was about to chase after me when a little boy ran over and grabbed her. I want to eat KFC. Hurry up, buy me KFC. Get lost. I'm not your mom, you little monster. Stop following me. I sighed at sigh. I clearly helped her end up with Chu Yun in this life, so why is she still disgusted by the child that their love produced? But forget it. I looked at the cloudless sky and the labor fee from last month that had just arrived in my phone. A steady sense of happiness welled up in my heart. For an ordinary person like me, I'd better not worry about the protagonist. What do you think after hearing this story? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. Now let's begin a new story. A poor student was pinned down in a stinking ditch and beaten by the school bully. He took the bully's punches and said, "You'd better kneel down and call me dad right now. Otherwise, you're dead." He was so confident because he was the future richest man in my past life. I stopped the school bully and saved him. He became my boyfriend, relying on my family to turn my life around, but he still wasn't satisfied. To force me into marriage, he tricked me into a tennis club and drugged and raped me. He also showed my parents the video of him molesting me on the bed, make them so angry that they die. He became the richest man in the city, with a beautiful wife and concubines, living a happy life. I was killed instantly in a staged car accident. After death, I was reborn. He was waiting smugly for me to come save him. I had been reborn. Reborn on the first day of sophomore year. At the next intersection, as expected, I saw Feng Xiao corner Zhang Xinyan in the sewer again. Zhang Xinyan is the poor student in my class. He came here after being admitted from a mountain village. When the boys in our class were all dressing themselves up flamboyantly to attract the attention of the girls, Zhang Xinyan dresses simply. Even so, he is still the center of attention for the girls, because he doesn't look rustic at all. A sharply defined face, a pair of eyes that looked pitiful and endearing when speaking Mandarin. There was even a somewhat refined and gentlemanly air. He looked exactly like a promising prospect from a poor background with a bright future. In my previous life, I heard that young Master Feng was going to bully him, so I hurried over to find him. By the time I arrived, young Master Feng was already cursing at him. Who the hell did you have to provoke? Huh, you dare to provoke me? You're dead today. Half of Zhang Xinyan's body was sunk into the sewer, while the other half was exposed above ground. It was heartbreaking to look at. He looked exactly like a poor student with excellent grades and character being humiliated by the school bully. Full of frustration and bitterness, I told the driver to stop. I warned young Master Feng, if you keep bullying your classmates, I'll tell your parents. My family and Feng Xiao's family are business partners. We basically grew up together. Feng Xiao has loved picking fights since he was a child, but he was afraid of parents filing complaints. Feng Xiao left after hearing that, letting Zhang Xinyan off the hook. This life, my car had just approached, but I saw Zhang Xinyan standing tall with his head held high, looking at young Master Feng with an unmatched, disdainful gaze. He said slowly, "Feng Shi, you'd better kneel down and call me dad right now, otherwise, you'll regret it." In his past life, he was the richest man. Of course he could stand up to young Master Feng like that, but in this life, he was still just a poor student who was disliked wherever he went. The driver asked, "Miss, should I stop the car?" He brought it on himself. How could I possibly repeat the same mistake? "No, drive on." Behind him was the sound of Feng Xiao's fist hitting Zhang Xinyan's face. Thud, thud. Zhang Xinyan was beaten so hard that he kept crying out in pain. "Call me dad." "Huh," Feng Xiao said. "Come on, kneel down now and call me dad 100 times. Feng Xiao posted on Moments. In the video, Zhang Xinyan had a battered face and swollen nose, and was calling him dad. Feng Xiao said, louder, so Zhang Xinyan kept shouting dad as hard as he could. That WeChat Moments post got 99+ likes. The next day, all the boys at school had changed their ringtones to Zhang Xinyan's funny dad shouting clip. During class in the large lecture hall, whenever the boys passed by Zhang Xinyan, they would praise him, saying his dad's calling was loud and pleasant. Zhang Xinyan took a cigarette and held it between his fingers. He crossed his legs and looked at these people mocking him with contempt. "A bunch of short-sighted dogs. Do you know who you're making fun of? I can't be bothered to argue with you. In the future, you'll be licking my shoes." The boys burst out laughing, treating him like a joke. The teacher was very angry. "Tell Zhang Xinyan not to smoke in the classroom." But Zhang Xinyan walked onto the podium. He looked at the teacher through his nostrils. His tone was as deep and commanding as that of a big shot. "Give me a good cigarette right now, and I guarantee you'll get that associate professor title." As soon as Zhang Xinyan said that, the classroom fell silent. Many of the students even eyed Zhang Xinyan with suspicion. Some people even suspected whether Zhang Xinyan was really playing the fool to outfox others. His assured manner was far too intimidating, and I remembered, in my previous life, Zhang Xinyan had asked me for help. "Let me introduce a teacher to an academician uncle of mine. In this life." The teacher paused. "What do you mean?" The classmates burst into a chorus of jeers. "Teacher, you actually believe him? What way could he possibly have to help you? Be careful. You might end up becoming a joke along with him." Zhang Xinyan's gaze suddenly shot toward me. He said to the teacher, "Zhou Meng will soon become my girlfriend. Do you think I can help you?" Zhang Xinyan did not say this very quietly. The classmates began discussing it in a flurry. During the break, I went up to the podium to wipe the blackboard. A group of boys glanced at me cautiously. When they caught my eye, they quickly looked away again, still discussing with other guys. "So Zhou Meng has never had a boyfriend because she secretly has a crush on the poor student Zhang Xinyan." Zhang Xinyan even said he's going to confess to Zhou Meng. He even made a bet with young Master Feng that if Zhou Meng agrees to be his girlfriend, young Master Feng has to give him 10,000 yuan. He was really full of confidence. He said if he lost, he'd run naked. Even young Master Feng was provoked into taking up the challenge by him. By the afternoon, there were already several hundred replies under the post on the forum. Everyone in the comments was guessing whether what Zhang Xinyan said was actually true. By evening, someone was even live streaming it. During the live stream, Feng Xiao said impatiently to Zhang Xinyan, "Don't even think about running. If you lose, I'll help you take your clothes off." Zhang Xinyan stuffed tissue into his nostrils, because he had no clothes to change into. The clothes on his body still gave off a sour, stale smell. Many of the students, even when coming to watch the commotion, pinched their noses and were unwilling to get close to him. Zhang Xinyan said smugly, "Just wait and see, Zhou Meng will definitely come." Feng Xiao scratched his head. "I've been wanting to say this for a long time." "Zhang Xinyan, why don't you piss on yourself and take a look in the mirror? Even if Zhou Meng isn't that great, she's still the dignified miss of the Zhou family. She could never possibly take a liking to you." Zhang Xinyan said, "Just wait and see." "Did you bring the 10,000 yuan?" Feng Xiao said, "You don't need to worry about that." As agreed, if she doesn't show up by 9:30 p.m., you and your second brother will really be famous, and it's live streamed in 4K HD. "She'll definitely come. I'm here. How could she not?" Feng Xiao sneered. "Who do you think you are?" Feng Xiao didn't know. In Zhang Xinyan's eyes, he was still the richest man from his previous life. In his previous life, he confessed to me, I was fooled by him so badly that I lost all sense of direction and said yes. In this lifetime, he still thinks he's irresistibly charming. Time passed. Little by little, I began to go downstairs. The people around me recognized me. They gasped, "It's Zhou Meng." She really went. The moment Zhang Xinyan saw me, there was even a trace of a bored expression that seemed to say, "So it really is like this after all." When I told the driver to drive past him by the roadside and ignored him, he didn't think anything was off at all. Is this the blind confidence of someone who once been the richest man? He started acting. "Zhou Meng, I like you, be my girlfriend." Not just at the scene, the live stream room is now already packed to capacity. The number of viewers has reached tens of thousands. Everyone is waiting to see how I'll bring this farce to an end. I walked up to Zhang Xinyan. The pungent smell coming off him was so strong it made me pinch my nose. I couldn't even be bothered to say a word. I raised my hand and slapped Zhang Xinyan across the face. The blow was so hard it left Zhang Xinyan stunned, inside and outside the live stream. Everything fell silent. I said loudly, "I refuse." I advised this classmate that instead of using this energy to harass female classmates, you should study hard. Feng Xiao gave me a thumbs up. Zhang Xinyan finally seemed to realize something was off. He muttered to himself, "How could this be? You were supposed to agree to me. Why is it different now?" The look in his eyes as he looked at me changed. On the one hand, they didn't believe it. On the other hand, they couldn't help greedily sweeping their gaze over me. "Just wait and see." Because Zhang Xinyan ran naked, he damaged the school's image. The school talked to him and wanted him to voluntarily withdraw. I remembered that in my previous life, Zhang Xinyan had also been asked to withdraw because he failed to meet the school's academic requirements. Only later, Zhang Xinyan used some method. The school still compromised. Think about it now. If Zhang Xinyan can withdraw from school and go home, he'll lose even his identity as a student at a top university. I'm actually looking forward to it. Just that day, a video of Feng Xiao kicking Zhang Xinyan and forcing Zhang Xinyan to strip naked went viral. Feng Xiao was relentlessly cursed at by netizens. The school also got blasted and trended on the hot search netizens. The school leadership definitely took bribes. They're bullying a poor student like this, and not only did they fail to stand up for him, they even want to expel him. This is just outrageous. Just because you're rich doesn't make you so great. Bullying people like this. I finally remembered that in my past life, Zhang Xinyan used this same trick to take down Feng Xiao. He went to take part in a TV station interview. He told reporters about his own impoverished background, and also said that Feng Xiao had bullied him because of the wealth gap, also because, in the live stream video, it really was Feng Xiao who urged him to take off his clothes. So public opinion overwhelmingly sided with Zhang Xinyan. What was Feng Xiao's final fate again? It seems the Feng family's business plummeted. The identities of the whole family were doxed across the internet. Feng Xiao's sisters were also subjected to obscene rumors. In the end, under pressure, Feng Xiao knelt in public before Zhang Xinyan and kowtowed to apologize. I can still remember Zhang Xinyan's smug expression now. "If you ask me, rich people like you are just stupid." He was utterly arrogant. So what if he's young Master Feng? Didn't he still obediently kneel in front of me? This life, faced with public pressure, Feng Xiao tried to post a video to clarify things. "Can you all calm down a little? The truth is, that bastard Zhang Xinyan stole my money. When I caught him, he said he had borrowed it from me and would pay me back. I keep urging him to pay me back, but he still won't return it. He wanted me to bet 10,000 yuan with him before he'd race me naked. Could you guys please stop insulting me, netizen? Rich kids, get lost, get the hell away, and you still refuse to repent." Smearing Zhang Xinyan. "Wait till I track you down through the internet cable and beat the crap out of you, kid." Feng Xiao was completely unable to defend himself. His family company's stock price was also affected. I heard that recently someone paid paparazzi to take exhaustive photos of his sister's private life. Zhang Xinyan's fan count, however, suddenly surged to 100,000. Under pressure, the school also promised not to expel Zhang Xinyan. Zhang Xinyan even rode the wave of attention to start a live stream and accept donations. Pitiful. During the live stream, I worked very hard to get into this university. In order to study, I only slept 2 hours a day. This is all the result of my own efforts. I was bullied, but I only hope that young Master Feng can apologize to me sincerely. As long as he apologizes, I will forgive him. Yes, I don't want anyone to be harassed. Also, classmate Zhou Meng doesn't love Me because my family is poor. It turns out she had already been in a relationship with young Master Feng, and they had slept together. I only just found out. I sneered inwardly even at this moment. Zhang Xinyan still didn't forget to spread rumors about me. I dialed young Master Feng's number, to expose Zhang Xinyan's lies. Go and check how he was admitted to college back then. Soon, the facts took a turn. A university admissions officer came forward and told the truth. There is now a very popular student named Zhang Nian online, back when admissions were taking place. He only scored 220 points, which was far below even the local junior college cutoff, but his parents have epilepsy, and he has 10 younger siblings. Our admissions teacher was surrounded by his family. His parents brought a rope and said that if we didn't admit their son Zhang Nian, their family of 13 would hang themselves one by one outside our hotel. We called the police at the time, but there was nothing they could do. Later, under pressure, the principal made a special exception to admit him. Public opinion was in an uproar. A classmate posted Zhang Xinyan's transcript. He failed all his major courses in his freshman year last year. Everyone in the dorm knows that Zhang Xinyan stole money, but they just didn't bother to confront him. It was indeed him who stole Feng Xiao's money. I know about the streaking incident. I'll find the video of how the goddess Zhou Meng rejected him later. It's really satisfying. Once netizens become clear-headed, Zhang Xinyan is immediately exposed for who he really is. Netizens, Zhang Xinyan is disgusting, a cancer, go die, he must be expelled from school. This way I can get into a prestigious university. If he doesn't drop out, I'll hang myself at the university gate tomorrow just to get in. First, make him refund the money he received from tips. Everyone, file a complaint and write fraud is the reason. I've already gotten my money back. Zhang Xinyan was banned by netizens across the entire internet. I almost had to sell my underwear to refund the netizens. The school treated him like a hot potato. They threw Zhang Xinyan and his luggage right out of the school gate. That night, Feng Xiao, who had shaken off the online backlash, treated us to a big meal off campus. Come out after eating. I actually ran into Zhang Xinyan in the cold wind. He was accosting passers-by. I'll give you a chance to treat me to a meal. Later, I'll let you work at my company. Passers-by scolded him. What's wrong with you? Zhang Xinyan said. You're the one with the problem. Just wait and see. I'll turn things around soon. After saying that, he was pushed by a passerby. He fell into the nearby bushes. At that moment, a girl also came out of the hotel. As soon as she saw me, the girl immediately gritted her teeth and said, Zhou Meng, it was Li Lu. Li Lu is my childhood friend, and we are both sophomores at the same school. Her father, Li Changming, is a business rival of my parents. She has been competing with me in everything since we were young. She never won when comparing family backgrounds, looks, or popularity. I didn't find out until my death in my previous life, before my family went bankrupt. Li Lu had already gotten involved with Zhang Xinyan. How miserable I was. By contrast, how lucky Li Lu was. She was a socialite meticulously packaged by Li Changming. The boyfriends she dated were either rich or influential. In the end, she even found lasting happiness with Zhang Xinyan, the richest man. A smooth and effortless life, pure and spotless. Li Lu won big in this life. She noticed me looking at Zhang Xinyan, like discovering an interesting toy. I had clearly already rejected Zhang Xinyan's confession, but Li Lu said, Isn't this Zhang Xinyan, Zhou Meng? After all, Zhang Xinyan does count as your ex-boyfriend. You treat him like this. Not generous at all. I shot back. What's it to you? I advise you not to meddle in other people's business. Li Lu's favorite thing was to go against me. The more I told her not to get involved, the more interested she became. She even pretended to care about Zhang Xinyan on purpose. Aren't you Zhang Xinyan? You still remember me, right? My name is Li Lu. My father is Li Changming. She looked at me provocatively. He took out a wad of cash from his wallet and threw it to Zhang Xinyan. My dad taught me that the rich must learn to do charity. I'm not like Zhou Meng, who doesn't care about loyalty at all. Here, consider it a loan from me. She didn't know Zhang Xinyan looked at her with a straight, unwavering gaze. It was just like the expression he had when he had set his sights on this juicy morsel of mine in my past life. A week later, when the school sports meet came around, Li Lu found me. Come to the tennis court tonight. I have a secret to tell you. I suddenly remembered what had happened at the school sports meet in my previous life. Zhang Xinyan took advantage of my sympathy. He tricked me into going to the tennis club. I don't know how I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was completely naked when I slept with Zhang Xinyan. Zhang Xinyan said he was drunk. He also said that I suddenly fainted, and he couldn't control himself. He kept begging me to agree not to make this matter public. Then he urged me to marry him. This life is Zhang Xinyan is still plotting against me, and Li Lu has also become Zhang Xinyan's accomplice. Alarm bells went off in my head. I'm not going, I said. What a clumsy trick. How did Li Lu and Zhang Xinyan think I would fall for it? Li Lu said, so you're not coming, huh? Then there'll be no saving your dad's business. By then, if you lose a precious family member, don't blame me for not giving you a chance in advance. My family built its fortune through business. The first generation of entrepreneurs in my family were my grandfather and grandmother. My dad has been in business with my grandparents since he graduated. Although he was the boss, he was always diligent and conscientious. In my previous life, my family company suddenly ran into problems with its cash flow. My dad was forced to rely on private loans. He worried himself so much every day that he couldn't sleep. The heart checkup was also put off again and again. This life, I remembered my parents coming to visit me at the university 2 days ago. We ate Western food at a nearby Western restaurant. The meal wasn't finished yet. My dad's phone rang. Someone said a few words to him on the phone. My dad's expression turned grave. My mom asked, "What's wrong?" My dad looked at me. "It's nothing," I said. "I've grown up already, Dad. Stop treating me like a kid all the time." My dad said, "Finance told me that one payment has entered the litigation process. If we win the case, we might not be able to get the money for another year or two. This sum is not a small amount. If dragged out for a year or two, it could even drag a small company to death. Even for a company of our size, it would be somewhat difficult." My dad said, "No need to worry too much. Our capital chain is still relatively stable, and we can afford to wait." What came next? He then received several more calls from the finance department. Surprisingly, they were all the exact same question. The company's cash flow was teetering on the brink. My expression was terrible. Li Lu looked very pleased with herself. Just then, my phone rang. It was my dad calling. "Meng Meng, it's Dad. It's about the family business." Maybe I seemed too worried at the Western restaurant last time, so as soon as my dad solved the problem, he hurried to tell me so I could feel at ease. I just came back from Li Changming's place. There was no pressure in my dad's voice, a very refreshing feeling. As expected, he was the one behind this. I put the evidence in front of him, and he had nothing to say. Several payments have come through, and there's no problem with the funding chain anymore. But Dad agreed to his request, and the matter was settled privately. From now on, Dad won't be bringing Li Changming along on business in the city anymore. If it weren't for his future son-in-law's family background, he wouldn't have lasted 6 months in the city. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on his future son-in-law situation. It's fine now. I hung up the phone. A huge weight lifted from my chest. In my previous life, my dad was set up by Li Changming. A big reason for that was also me after all. At this time in my previous life, he found out that Zhang Xinyan and I had slept together at the tennis hall. My father's heart was already under tremendous strain. He was heartbroken. How could she possibly have the heart to uncover the truth and go up against Li Changming in this life? It all comes down to skills and connections. Li Changming simply couldn't win. Li Lu was still feeling smug. "Hey, don't pretend you didn't hear me. If you don't come, you'll regret it." I picked up the bottle of mineral water, unscrewed the cap, and splashed it directly onto Li Lu. Li Lu screamed. The clothes she was wearing were already very short and thin, and after being splashed with water, they were even more indecent. "What are you doing, Zhou Meng? How dare you splash me?" She came up to me and tried to wrestle with me, yet she didn't want to expose herself. She could only glare at me angrily. I tossed the t-shirt I had just bought to her and warned her, "You'd better stay away from Zhang Xinyan too. I'll tell you a secret too. Whoever gets close to him will be unlucky." Li Lu changed into it indignantly. "I don't believe a word of your nonsense, and if you really dare not go, you'll definitely regret it." After saying that, she turned and headed toward the tennis hall to tip off Zhang Xinyan. That night, something happened at the tennis center. The campus group chats and grade group chats were all in an uproar. "Have you heard? Zhang Xinyan, who was expelled, actually did something like that at the tennis center. I heard it was only an attempted incident, but Zhang Xinyan was still way too disgusting. He actually prepared that kind of toy, and even set up 3 cameras, all in ultra-high definition." "What do you mean, attempted? He actually did it. What a pity the police arrived so early and sealed everything off. Otherwise, there would have been plenty to see." "Do you know who the girl he assaulted was?" "It was Li Lu. her father, Li Changming, is quite rich and powerful. You still want to see Li Lu's video? Anyone who watches it will be retaliated against. In my past life, when Zhang Xinyan tricked me into going to the tennis club, he had also prepared a lot of toys. He was looking for an excuse. He even drank a lot of alcohol in advance afterward. He indeed claimed that he was drunk. He also said that I suddenly fainted. He didn't do it on purpose. In this life, Li Lu put on the clothes I had just bought. Those clothes were the style I usually wore, and under the dim light, at first glance it was hard to tell whether it was Li Lu or me. Li Lu went to tip off Zhang Xinyan. As a result, Zhang Xinyan forcibly had sex with her. Of course, she was unwilling. There was a struggle and screams. Unfortunately, the tennis court gate was locked. By the time Li Lu was rescued, her hair was all messed up. Her clothes had also been taken off. I heard that many people even took photos. Everyone on campus already knows about this. Li Changming was also called to the school by a phone call. Zhang Xinyan was dead drunk. He was given sobering medicine. Li Lu cried and shouted, "Arrest him, Dad! Make him go to jail." Li Lu went to attack Zhang Xinyan again, was tossed aside by Zhang Xinyan with a backhand. The tone was actually one of disgust. "How could it be you?" Li Lu clutched him and burst into tears. "What do you mean? How dare even someone like you look down on me?" She howled angrily. "And Zhou Meng, Dad, she's just jealous that my fiancé has such a high status, so she deliberately tried to hurt me." Li Changming's expression was as ugly as it could possibly be. He slapped Li Lu across the face. Li Lu was completely stunned. Li Changming roared, "Shut up, don't bring up your fiancé. Aren't you embarrassed enough already?" Zhang Xinyan brushed a hand through his hair. He gave a proper, respectable nod to Li Changming. "Mr. Li, a pleasure to meet you." Li Changming looked at him with a dark expression. Zhang Xinyan said arrogantly, "Since things have come to this, I'll take a bit of a loss. As long as you give me 100,000 yuan, I'm willing to marry your daughter and save your reputation." With Li Changming's ability, he wanted to bring down my dad's company that quickly in my previous life. That was really asking too much of him. In fact, there was someone else behind Li Changming in his past life. Li Changming went to great lengths to curry favor with people in higher circles. He spared no expense to package Li Lu, a diploma from a prestigious school, a master's prize disciple, personally crafted by the most famous fashion designer. He even spent a huge sum of money to invest in a variety show, making Li Lu outshine all the stars. With this kind of packaging, Li Changming successfully sent Li Lu into the upper-tier circle. She got engaged to a wealthy scion from the upper class as she had wished. With this marriage alliance, Li Changming gained a powerful backer. Only then did they brazenly dig traps for their business partners and swallow up their assets. Li Lu's fiancé was someone even my dad found troublesome. That man even called my dad personally. So what if you know I'm the one behind it? Are you even ranked in the city? What do you think you are? If you want to get back at me, you'd better think carefully about what price you'll have to pay. To be honest, with the young master's status, my dad was even prepared for a gentleman's revenge. 10 years is not too late, but now, the crown prince's former socialite fiancé had actually been slept with by a poor student. That was a brutal slap across the crown prince's face. It left his whole family utterly humiliated. Li Changming wasn't having an easy time either. The crown prince dumped Li Lu. He also made an outrageous demand for Li Changming's family holding company as compensation. Now Li Changming is borrowing money everywhere, trying to fill this huge hole. Zhang Xinyan was detained by Li Changming the moment he came out of the police station. He's being held at the Li family home right now. I heard that he's been shouting everywhere that he'll marry Li Lu. He says he'll be a success soon. Li Changming suffered a huge loss, but still refused to give up. He specially prepared a banquet, hoping to mend his relationship with my dad. The banquet was filled with noisy chatter. Zhang Xinyan suddenly appeared behind me. He was wearing a glowing collar around his neck. It looked quite expensive, but for some reason I kept feeling like it was something used to control dogs. It probably has a positioning function. It may also have a slight electric shock function. "Zhou Meng," he called me. His tone was extremely strange. "I didn't expect you to come. Actually, I had a dream. You may not believe it, but in the dream, we were very close. To be honest, I don't really like Li Lu, although Li Changming begged to marry his daughter off to me. But as long as you say the word, I'm willing to go with you." I feel sick just seeing him. I really don't know how he still had the nerve to say something like that. I pretended to scream in fear. My mom and dad hurried over. Li Changming also rushed over. I whimpered, "Mom, Dad." He suddenly came out. and I was scared. My dad got angry. Li Changming, is this how you treat your guests? Li Changming hurriedly forced a smile, then he said to me again, Meng Meng, don't be afraid, I'll punish him right now to avenge you. As he spoke, he tapped the phone a few times. A crackling sound came from Zhang Xinyan's collar. Electricity surged through. Zhang Xinyan curled up on the ground, crying out in agony repeatedly. Li Changming cursed, if you don't want to die right now, get lost. Zhang Xinyan's lie was exposed on the spot. He couldn't save face. None of them dared to look at me anymore. Wait until Li Changming walked far away. Zhang Xinyan fixed a vicious glare on Li Changming. Old bastard, I'll make sure you won't have the face to see anyone later. I remembered it. After the incident at the tennis club in my previous life, Zhang Xinyan was eager to marry me, but my parents absolutely refused to agree. Zhang Xinyan held a grudge. He cast the video he recorded at the tennis club onto the TV for my parents to watch. When the unsightly video was played, my parents were both stunned. My face on the video was clearly visible. Zhang Xinyan's movements were downright indulgent, so sleazy it was practically spilling over. My dad clutched his heart and collapsed, and then he never woke up again. My mother had just undergone surgery, then she went through my father's death. She developed a postoperative infection and didn't even make it through a week before dying. In this life, the person Zhang Xinyan slept with became Li Lu, my parents, and I became bystanders, watching Zhang Xinyan and Li Changming tear into each other like dogs. Zhang Xinyan released the video at the banquet. The scenes in the video were too indecent to look at. Li Lu's scream echoed through the entire villa. My dad asked my mom to cover my eyes. Meng Meng is still little. Don't let her see this dirty stuff. After saying that, maybe he felt Zhang Xinyan was too disgusting. He stepped forward and grabbed Zhang Xinyan by the collar. He lifted a foot and kicked Zhang Xinyan in the lower abdomen. 2 heavy kicks. Zhang Xinyan was hit squarely. He was already as skinny as a black monkey. He simply couldn't break free from my tall dad. He was beaten until he screamed repeatedly in agony. Zhang Xinyan still refused to give up. Gritting his teeth, he said, I'm Li Lu's man, which makes me Mr. Li's son-in-law. If you beat me to death, Mr. Li will definitely extort money from you. He even made sure to use Li Changming to challenge my dad. My dad said, what you're saying does make sense. I don't need to stick my nose where it doesn't belong. Sure enough, Zhang Xinyan became smug, but what he didn't know was this. Out of the corner of our eyes, we had already seen Li Changming charge over with a stick. The ultimate showdown between an old scoundrel and a young scoundrel. Li Changming cursed under his breath. Son of a bitch. I climbed my way up from the bottom one step at a time. Just by the way you stick out your ass, I can tell what kind of shit you're trying to take. Sleep with my daughter and you can become my son-in-law. I let you stay for 2 days, and now you've got the nerve to push your luck. You even dare to use a video to pressure me. Li Changming was ruthless enough in his actions. 2 sticks slammed hard against Zhang Xinyan's legs. I told you to record it, told you to play it. The stick came down again and again. Zhang Xinyan let out a scream that no longer sounded human. His leg was beaten and broken alive. After the fiasco at this banquet, Li Changming had no hope of making a comeback and was utterly despairing. He moved away overnight. I heard that Li Lu still wasn't convinced and wanted to settle accounts with me. Li Changming threw her out of the car. Li Lu ran after them, crying all the way. Before catching up they left, leaving Zhang Xinyan outside. Zhang Xinyan broke both of his legs. There wasn't much foot traffic in the villa area. He could only crawl to the main road where buses ran. Only then did he successfully get help. He was admitted to the hospital but had no money for treatment. Out of humanitarian concern, the doctor set his bones, seeing that he wasn't going to die. They discharged him later. I heard he kept on picking through trash along the street to eat. Life was indescribably miserable. I thought Zhang Xinyan had left my life for good from then on. One day, a month later, terrifying big data recommended me a bizarre video. The person in the video is Zhang Xinyan. He is showing how a disabled man, despite his physical impairment, makes a living by picking up garbage every day. That's not important, but the route he showed is the route near my home. In his latest video today, he filmed my house's window. And today is the weekend, and I'm home alone. The video's timestamp is 11:20. It's now 11:35. My hair stood on end. Zhang Xinyan had been following me. What did he want to do? My mind raced. In my previous life, Zhang Xinyan had come to my house. Zhang Xinyan was reborn just like me. Then he knew the layout of my house, and he also knew my parents' work habits. Today, both of my parents were not at home, and the housekeeper aunt was not there either. My home password isn't complicated, it's my birthday. Could Zhang Xinyan also not have forgotten? A beeping sound came from downstairs. There was also the sound of shuffling footsteps. My hair stood on end. Was it Zhang Xinyan? He really came without thinking. I immediately typed out a text message to report it to the police. Zhang Xinyan had already reached my bedroom door. I hadn't closed the door. He stood in the doorway, looking at me. I looked back at him. What do you want? I asked him. Zhang Xinyan licked his lips. He smiled grimly. I miss you. He lunged into the room like an eagle snatching a chick, pinning me down on the bed. Zhang Xinyan held me down tightly, not letting me struggle. He leaned in close to me. It was as if an ugly venomous snake were crawling toward me. Zhou Meng, I think this is strange. You should have sympathized with me. When Fengxi was bullying me, you rushed up and shielded me tightly behind you. You were supposed to be the first woman I conquered. Zhang Xinyan questioned me. Why did you change? Ever since you changed, everything has been different too. I can't even become the richest man anymore. Everyone looks down on me, and I'm still this damn poor student. He shook me, turned me back. That way, everything will go back to the way it was. I looked at Zhang Xinyan, who looked like a beggar. I felt indescribably pleased. Isn't this better? The way you are now, rotting in the trash can, is the life you deserve. Zhang Xinyan's sluggish mind finally turned clear. You actually believed what I said. No one has ever believed I'm the richest man. Could it be that you? He looked almost mad. As expected, it was because of you. No wonder the bet was lost. No wonder you would turn me down. So you already knew everything. You're reborn too. You did it on purpose. He exerted force. I was almost out of breath and coughed violently. He looked at me and became smug again. Unfortunately, you still fell into my hands, he said. He reached out and tried to slip his hand under the hem of my t-shirt. So what if you know? Don't even think about escaping from my grasp. I'm going to sleep with you right now. He pulled back his hand again and shook the battered phone in his hand. He turned on the camera. Just like in my previous life, I'll record it and post it online. Everything will return to the way it was in the previous life. I felt suffocated in my haste. I only managed to tuck a utility knife under the pillow. If Zhang Xinyan continues, then I'll take a gamble and stab Zhang Xinyan once. I will never let Zhang Xinyan get away with it. I won't wait until we're both destroyed. Soon, the wail of sirens came from outside. Someone burst through the door, shouted loudly, "Don't move, let her go." The police arrived. Zhang Xinyan panicked. "Don't come any closer, otherwise I'll strip her naked right now." My parents came too. I heard my parents calling me, panicked, "Please save my daughter." But the police came prepared. Someone had already jumped in through the window, taking Zhang Xinyan by surprise. They pinned him to the ground. I was rescued. Zhang Xinyan was firmly pinned to the ground. His face was twisted and pressed against the wooden floor. A pair of eyes stared fixedly at me. "Zhou Meng." The voice sounded as if it had come from hell. He even laughed. "Don't think you can escape. I only attempted rape. I won't get many years for it. I heard the city prison conditions are even better than university dorms. Wait a few years for me to get myself together. When I get out, I'll make sure you're nice and comfortable in bed. You can only be mine. Once I have you, I can still have everything else." After saying this, everyone present got goosebumps. My parents angrily rebuked Zhang Xinyan. "Shut up, officer. Please make him stop talking." But Zhang Xinyan only got even more worked up, laughing even more wildly. He was in a might as well let it all go mindset, given his family's genes. I suspect there's nothing Zhang Xinyan wouldn't do. The more afraid others acted, the more smug Zhang Xinyan became. Unfortunately, having lived two lives, I had long since thrown caution to the wind. I walked over and stood before Zhang Xinyan. I met his gaze. "What nonsense are you talking?" My tone was gentle. "Have you forgotten? You've already been expelled from university. You won't get to enjoy the good conditions at the city prison, according to the rules. Of course you'll be sent back to your place of origin. And then you'll be even closer to your parents and younger brothers. You'll be running the sewing machine inside. And if they run out of money outside, they can still withdraw your wages." Zhang Xinyan's expression changed. I said, "It's fine, only 3 to 5 years. They won't drive you mad, will they?" Only at this point did I truly feel grateful that Zhang Xinyan had ended up with such a family. How could his family possibly have let Zhang Xinyan undergo reform through labor properly? They sucked him dry. As long as Zhang Xinyan is by their side for even one day, even death is a luxury for Zhang Xinyan. Zhang Xinyan stared wide-eyed. He was so terrified that even his pupils dilated. I won't go back to my place of origin. I'm not going back. I have money. and I will become the richest man. I command you all, no one is sending me back." The police naturally ignored him. They grabbed him and were about to stuff him into the police car. Zhang Xinyan finally panicked. "Besides me, there isn't a single normal person in my family, they're the crazy ones. Officer, I'm begging you. I'm a student at a prestigious university. I acted out of momentary confusion. You can't send me back, I'll be tortured to death." Zhang Xinyan flailed desperately, but it was all in vain. The police car drove away with its siren blaring. 3 months later, as expected, Zhang Xinyan was escorted back to his place of origin. I heard that he was sent to a prison in his hometown and would be held there for 3 years later. I heard that his family really did secretly take the wages he had earned. Zhang Xinyan couldn't even afford to buy vegetables, only plain white rice for every meal. Later on, the family, unable to withdraw any money, grew angry. They went to visit Zhang Xinyan every month. They called him a useless waste, call him a beast, humiliate him until he was no longer fit to look like a human being. It hadn't even been 2 years, Zhang Xinyan was dead. That year, I graduated on time and joined the job-seeking army. I joined my dad's company. I became a rookie in the workplace. With Zhang Xinyan's death, the clouds of gloom in my heart have all dispersed. In this life, the world is now vast and boundless. After hearing this story, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share them in the comments section. We look forward to hearing your voice.